Welcome to another episode of Mike's Expat Kitchen, where we cook German dishes with American ingredients. Today, we're going to cook Wiener Schnitzel, the pinnacle of German cuisine, with a fluffy bread crust around some pork or veal. And I'm going to show you a couple of tricks on how to get it exactly like in the restaurant. What you need to make Wiener Schnitzel is a couple of slices of pork loin or veal. The classic Wiener Schnitzel recipe calls for veal, but you can also make it out of pork. So the veal version is a little bit classier, I would say, and the pork version is tastier. Interestingly, there's also a legal distinction. A restaurant that offers the traditional Wiener Schnitzel has to make it out of veal. If it uses pork, it has to be called Schnitzel Wiener Art. So while the traditional Wiener Schnitzel translates to Schnitzel from Vienna, the pork version translates to Schnitzel Vienna style. For the breadcrumb coating on the 3 slices of meat, I use 2 eggs, the pre-made breadcrumbs from Trader Joe's, and about half a cup of flour. The taste of the breadcrumbs makes a big difference. So the regular ones that you can buy from Target, I don't like that much, but these from Trader Joe's are superb. Almost as good as grinding up your own stale, old, hard white bread. For frying the schnitzel later in the pan, I use Crisco, which is an all-vegetable shortening, and it has a neutral taste. If you've got veal, then there's nothing to do here, but pork, you definitely need to trim the fat off. You can just discard it. We won't need it for the Wiener Schnitzel. The 3 slices of meat I have here are more than half an inch thick. For the schnitzel, we need something that's super thin, probably a quarter of an inch or less, so that it gets pretty big, so that it extends to the end of the plate, very important, and also that it cooks thoroughly fairly quickly. There's machines that do that for you, but if you only make a couple of schnitzels per month, you're probably better off with some food wrap that you put over the schnitzel and a tenderizing hammer. Also note how I put a towel underneath the cutting board so that my downstairs neighbors doesn't go bananas. When it's stretched out nice and thin, season it with salt and pepper on both sides and set up your schnitzel preparation station. We need a total of 3 relatively large plates to apply the different layers onto the schnitzel one by one. One is with breadcrumbs, the next one is with the flour, and the third one we crack open the 2 eggs and whisk them thoroughly so that we can later apply the egg mass to the schnitzel by dredging it through the liquid. Now for something that you might have not expected, for the bread crust to be really fluffy and to turn outwards while we're frying the schnitzel in the pan later, we're going to coat it with something that's very high in alcohol. Typically you use vodka, but I didn't have that, so I used that leftover Calvados, which has about 40% alcohol. That'll do the trick just nicely. In the meantime, let's heat up the Crisco in the pan. Make sure that you got about a 1/4 inch of fat in there so that the schnitzel can float later. This will make sure that the coating is nice and fluffy. Do not overheat the pan, only turn it up to about medium high. We don't want any accidents with fat that's splurging all over the place. And back to our schnitzel making station. Take the seasoned schnitzel and coat it with the alcohol. Then put it through the flour so that some sticks onto the schnitzel. Afterwards, you put it through the egg to make it moist again. And finally, put on some breadcrumbs by dabbing it onto that plate that has them piled up. Take your time there and put on a thick layer of breadcrumbs. The more, the better usually, because you really want a thick crust later on your Wiener Schnitzel. And we're ready to fry the schnitzel. Again, the pan is about medium hot, not all the way up. So you can see that the fat is boiling there, but not reacting too violently with the cold meat. So make sure that the schnitzel keeps floating and is not going to stuck to the bottom of the pan, otherwise it will burn. And keep moving it around with a pair of tongs. Keep checking the downside, and if it has reached a golden brown color, flip the schnitzel around and keep cooking it on the other side for another 2 minutes. When it's reached a golden brown color on both sides, take a spatula and carefully lift it out of the pan and place it on a paper towel. Use another paper towel to dab off the fat on top as well. Keep it warm in some aluminum foil until all your schnitzels are ready, and drizzle some lemon juice over it. That improves the taste as well. And your delicious Wiener Schnitzel is ready to eat. The question, of course, remains, what kind of sauce are you using with it? And I gotta admit, I like that Japanese sauce. That might not be German, but eating a lot of tonkatsu in Japanese restaurants, this is now a staple. Serve it with some salad, even potato salad or fried potatoes, and a glass of beer. If you don't have really good German beer, I recommend this American IPA. Enjoy your Wiener Schnitzel. Guten Appetit. If you liked the video, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see upcoming videos.